Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to From the Depths with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome back to the sandbox mode very briefly, in which we're going to make some final changes to our melee vehicle. Now, sadly, I was originally going to go ahead and name all of our vehicles today, the melee vehicle, the drone, and the missile vehicle, but I don't really have the time, as over the weekend, and maybe between Monday and Wednesday, I'm going to have no electricity in half of my apartment, since people are going to be in to fix some really weirdly faulty wiring, which has been put in by the previous tenants. I have no idea how this went under the radar, but yeah, I've been fighting this for like the last month, which has been an absolute joy, as you can probably imagine. So I do apologise for that, so consider this your last chance to name all of the vehicles, as I want to voice them and do the lore and everything else. And I don't think I can do that justice right now, which is really unfair. Perhaps some people can steal the position of their names and lore whilst I'm doing that. So, what I really want to do is make some spin blocks on the top with almost completely vertical rams. This way, when this vehicle goes under the enemy, which it seems to do 90% of the time, it can actually do some damage to it. Now, I also want to do a spine here of rams, so it also damages itself as it goes across. That was kind of the purpose of the rams here, but I feel like a spin block would be better. Now, a lot of people have suggested using the vertical spin blocks, so rather than having them like this, having them on their side. The only reason why I don't use this is the more spin blocks we have, the more weak points there are, since if you hit the spin block itself, which can very easily be done via heat shells or HESH shells, the entire spin block breaks. And then you lose all of your weaponry. If you have them vertical, you tend to need more of them to cover the same space, although that does cover any bouncing enemies, it's just not worth it. And because of that, I've set up all of this armor very specifically to handle enemy fire. That's why cram cannons seem to do almost no damage to the front, but decent damage to the side, because the armor has been set up in a very, very specific way. So what I'm going to do is remove both of those. I'm going to add some heavy armor here, and all the way along here, and then also do the same underneath, and the spin block will go in this little gap, which will then be attached to a heavy armor block, and then there will be two horizontal spin blocks here and here, which focus more on the vertical rams, and then a couple of horizontal, because of course they will still be bouncing upwards and then catching on this. If they have regular blocks here, they will instantly be destroyed, and although that will be awesome to look at, not so great for our ramming vehicle. After I've done this, we'll go back to the campaign and we'll do some proper battles using this vehicle. I can't see myself using more than one of this vehicle, as it does have the horrible tendency to hit any other vehicle of the same type, and it will utterly wreck itself, which is not something I particularly want. It looks a little bit over the top, but there we go. Can you get underneath? Nope, apparently you're going to perfectly kill it as intended. Why couldn't you do that? There we go. Oh wow, yeah, that definitely works. Oh, that was so brutal. I love that. Okay, yep, that clearly works. Okay, the bison, turn off.
Turning off.
Let's just see how this works again. Wow, those rams actually do damage even before it flips the enemy. And that flip normally happens when the enemy is moving. There we go, and yep, just brutalizing it. Oh, I love that. Okay, yeah, a bit of sadistic pleasure there. Okay. Yeah. Doesn't look the best, but my god, that just destroys things, which I am very, very happy with. So with that, let's get into the campaign. Let's just do a few battles. That's all I want to do today. Make sure this thing works. I doubt I'll have more than one of these in a battle, but it's going to be such a fun addition. Just proving the point there. With your little mini flip. Are you going to hit me? Ah! A random side note before we go into the campaign. is that a lot of people said I should put the thrusters on the front, which would massively reduce the drifting. First of all, the drifting is hilarious, so I do kind of want that as it is, even if it is horribly inefficient. But yet, that is completely correct. If the thrusters are on the front, that will massively reduce the drifting and mean this melee vehicle will always be going for the target. The issue is, right now, there just isn't enough space on the front. All of this armor is serving a purpose, and I've placed it very specifically to defend all of the back sections, because I've kind of gone for an all or nothing approach. If you attack from the front, this thing takes very, very little damage, as we've seen in previous tests. This can actually take several cram cannons to the face and not really care. But if you hit from the side, then things are very, very different. If we start adding thrusters and stuff, which a lot of things actually target, well, missiles target anyway because of the heat, then that's going to be a lot worse, because I don't want this section being eroded during the battle. I really feel like this is an all-or-nothing vehicle. If it gets hit in the right place, it will die instantly. If it gets hit in the wrong place, it's going to completely annihilate several vehicles. And I'm okay with that. Also, yes, it does look like a very, very weird car wash. Not one you would want to be in the car for. Here we are back in the campaign, and I've just went ahead and added one of our resource harvesters over here. Eventually I will build a defense turret as well, because, well, there's a lot of Onyx Watch around here. I've also went ahead and built a second Dauntless, which I've simply called Resource. So Resource is going from one place to the next, transferring, well, Resource, so that we do have all of the material possible at the main base, so it can be transferred nice and easily. I'm now repairing all of the craft, and also replacing some of the ones we lost in the previous battle, so that we can have a decent fight against one of these Strength 100s, or perhaps one of these Strength 150s. I will also go ahead and make the melee vehicle in just a second, so that our very first fight will have something interesting to watch, since we have seen all the rest already. I think I will only have one of the melee vehicles, because any more than one and we're just going to have vehicles hitting each other and destroying each other, which is kind of the point, but still not all that great when they're on your side. Well, hello there. So, we have found the Onyx Watch base. So I think we should go down the route of least resistance, attacking the Strength 100, then the Strength 150, and then the main base itself. Then, I think we should go after the Twin Guard, as I just saw them reinforce 2 tiles since I've been here. So, maybe 10 minutes, and 2 tiles have been reinforced. One thing I am a bit curious about is, why am I not being attacked by the Lightning Hoods? It's been a while now, and I haven't seen anything from them. Now, I do know that I've taken one of their resource zones, so they will be slower to reinforce than one of the empires with all of their resource zones. But I've seen absolutely nothing from them in ages. A bit odd, but saying that, it may just feel like it's been longer than it actually is, considering most of our time has been in battles, and battles have taken absolutely forever, and they're in normal speed. In fact, I don't even know if the game continues while you're in a battle. Do the fortresses still reinforce during battles? I don't think I still harvest during battles, but that may be the case as well, to be fair. If we've been spending 90% of our time in battles, then they're just not reinforcing. Drifting away, the melee vehicle is now here in the campaign, and I've set it so that when the battery levels reach a low level, the steam boilers increase, and then when the battery levels are very, very high, they simply decrease. That's why it looks like the power is kind of weirdly balancing there at about 90%, because that's pretty much where I want it, since that is powering everything, and it's balancing out how much material this thing's burning. As you can see by the amount of materials it has, it's not exactly burning material quickly. In fact, it's getting more material per second than it can actually use, which is pretty good. Well, I just accidentally put one of the Vero tanks a little bit too far ahead, and we're starting the battle a little bit earlier than I originally intended. Is everything in place except for the Doom drone? Yep, that seems to be the case. Still should be okay. Also, I see a green line. Is that the lightning hoods? I was just talking about you. Well, we're not really interested in you right now. Although I do wish you weren't attacking at this very moment. Do we have enough resources to actually make some extra reinforcements down here? Well, we do already have the Doom Drone, I suppose. At least one of them. So let's focus on one fight at a time, shall we?
Receiving.
Now, the problem with the Doom Drones is that their speed is massively limited because of how they connect to their servitors. Because the servitors can't actually move by themselves, so they have a very limited max speed, which then is transferred onto the Doom Drone, so they are actually incredibly slow on the map. It's their biggest weakness. Now, the enemies are very, very stacked up here, which is great for the melee vehicle. Not so much anyone else, but very good for the melee vehicle.
Yes.
There we are, the melee base. Let's put you over here. Try to minimize friendly fire as much as possible, but I am fully aware that that is going to happen. There will be friendly fire. There's absolutely nothing we can do about that. Since it's going to be right in the middle of the combat, yeah, there's just nothing we can do about it at all. So, you can move there, maybe. You can just go above anywhere. Doesn't really matter exactly where you go, honestly. You can stay there.
Receiving.
Since both of you will go backwards where you are, the two missile bases, we can do this. And I'll just skip ahead until I've put everything where I want to put it. Come on, there we go. So then, let's begin the battle. As usual, we have the force disadvantage, but we do have a lot of different forces. And right now, I am so concerned about friendly fire for absolutely everything. We are getting to the point where I don't want any more craft in a single group. So we are now looking to make our craft more expensive, adding some more heavy armor to the Pharaoh tanks, maybe up their weapon a little bit, increase the missile base in pretty much every way, so more missiles, more ammo, more armor, and then just stuff like that, really. Just make everything more expensive rather than increase our number. Darn, I thought no one was attacking this craft, but sadly it seems like a lot of them are. Okay, those advanced cannon shells are the only thing I'm really scared of. Shield actually deflected one of those. Well, it caused it to explode on the shield rather than further in. Please say you're going for the craft with the advanced cannons. I don't really know which one you're going for right now. Doesn't look like that was your target, but you are definitely doing well. There goes the entire front section of that craft, although you are now slowing down because you are stuck on so many things. Friendly fire here from the missiles. Didn't last too long, though, before shredding the next enemy. A huge explosion there. Not exactly what I wanted on the back. Remember, this craft is incredibly well armored at the front and on the back, really, but on the sides is definitely a weak point. Seems like the engine may have been slightly damaged because that is much slower. Yep, engine is definitely damaged. It's losing energy right now, which is not what I want. Also, how are you not doing damage to that? That's weird. What's happened there? Okay, well, you're just going to push him away. Well, you definitely did a lot of work, though. You distracted the enemies, and you really badly damaged two of them. I guess I'll just ignore that and focus on the main battle, then. How weird. You know, I have never seen that occur, though. That should be damaging. It looks like it's got stuck on a block of the enemy. There we go, finally damaging again. Yeah, it looks like it got stuck on a block of the enemy, perhaps which was already destroyed, and therefore it wasn't actually touching any live components and thus not doing damage. If you ever use rams against an enemy which has already been destroyed, or just a non-enemy, you'll find that the damage doesn't really go through. Well, not a non-enemy, because it works on allies, but basically a non-entity. What a shame, though. Looks like we're doing very, very well, though, to be perfectly honest. A lot better than the last battle. The mosquitoes still staying alive, which is fantastic. There we go, finally killing its prey. And now going for a new target. Honestly, even with it getting stuck, that still did fantastically. Or is it? Maybe you should ignore salvage. That's something I didn't consider until just this moment. You. Ignore. Actually, most of them were attacking salvage. That's something I need to fix. The Pharaoh tank's doing a great job over there, killing the regular enemies. Although a huge internal explosion there, one of the tanks has just taken a significant bit of damage. Oh, melee vehicle there crashing into a target. And then drifting aimlessly. It definitely needs more thrusters on the front, despite what I was saying earlier. That is something I will do to it later. Yeah, sadly, 2 damaged isn't ignored by Ignore Salvage, as you can probably tell. Which is definitely a shame. Maybe I should set this to go for the largest target first. At the moment, it's basically the default settings, except for it ignores flyers. Now, I fixed these helicopters not to go slowly down. So what's happening here? Oh, you've lost some of your propellers. That's what's happened, okay. Still a slow battle, but definitely a lot more one-sided than the previous one. Definitely not slower than it was. Yeah, the engine definitely got damaged very early on, which is a shame. Basically, how this is set up is it has 4 different areas of batteries and then 2 steam boilers. And considering how it simply wasn't keeping up with its energy demand, it looks like one of the steam boilers was damaged early on. Well, that was very quickly put into the 2 damaged category, and moving on. Not many enemies left to choose from, honestly. That tank there trying to run away. Well, less run away, more make the enemy follow you and shoot it in the face. Tactically running away. I am tempted, though, against the end boss of the Onyx Watch, just to use maybe 3 or 4 of these melee vehicles. There we go, crushing its side, and very quickly sending it to the 2 damage section. Ow! Hesh shell to the side, completely knocking off a section of its armor. Wow, those 2 copters with their bouncy missiles looked awesome. And there we go. A very, very clean victory. Well, not clean, but a very one-sided battle, I should say. Also, when did I fall out? How did I not die from those Hesh shells? Please don't kill me. Thank you. The Onyx Watch has made a force, sadly. Now, if I move over here, there is a very real chance we can just allow it to reinforce this tile, and it will ignore all of our forces, which is exactly what we want at the moment. The lightning hoods are almost here, so I'm quickly going to swap the shells of our turret here, so that it's using Hesh or maybe even heat shells, though I will still have a little bit of flak in them, just to make sure they can get through the shields. We do have 2 Pharaoh tanks here, and we have a Dismantler, so we do have a good amount of firepower and defense here, though I'm not sure if it's actually going to be enough. I've decided to leave the stationary turret pretty much as it was. The only difference is I've swapped one of the flak heads for a single high explosive, so it has 1 more high explosive in the entire set, so that should do a little bit more damage, even if the explosion radius now is a little bit shorter. Also, I now realise I was going to name the Doom drone and everything else in this video, but sadly I am very limited with the amount of time I have. In fact, all weekend I don't think I'm going to be able to record anything, because sadly, I've got engineers coming to the apartment again because of all the faulty electrical wiring, so yeah, I don't even know when I'm going to be able to do the next video. They've even said that perhaps I might lose the internet and electricity in large parts of the apartment for maybe up to 3 days. So if there is a delay in videos, I do apologise, but I'm trying to get at least 2 videos done for the weekend, so that is as it is. Okay, I mean, nothing else we can do here. Let's just hope we win this. If we don't win this, we are going to have to rush back as fast as possible. Yeah, I think after this I am going to reinforce this point, even if we do win. I think we need a little bit more here, just in case we get attacked by a larger force than this. I think we're going to be okay, but I don't know. One of the few battles where it being nighttime might not be the worst thing. Because look at those lovely, pretty lights. Kind of looks like two lightsabers clashing here, doesn't it? Almost. There we go. That's how it looks right. Well, let's continue. Ah, sadly, our dismantler is focusing on enemies which are indeed using smoke. Oh, a lovely Hesh shot, though. That was beautiful. 2 of them. Yep, that is a great start. The stationary turret there doing a good job as well, although it has just been quite badly damaged by that Wisp. Another Wisp is going for the Pharaoh tank. I'm hoping they get taken out fairly soon. Don't know what's going on. Okay, there it is, shooting his missiles. It must have just been on a delay there. I was wondering where the missile support was, but here it comes. Against an enemy which honestly looks like it may be taken out anyway. Thankfully, most of the enemies are focusing on the stationary turret, which is essentially a giant block of heavy armor. Although, yep, just out of range there from that Wisp. Although, as you can see, lots of blocks were destroyed in that attack by the Wisp. Oh, internal explosion. Yep, that is really bad. The stationary turret is taking a lot of damage. It's down to the Pharaoh tanks to destroy the enemies fast enough now, before our turret is completely dismantled. Oh, look at that, just bathing it in green. Something wrong with that Pharaoh tank there. Is that flipped or is it just badly damaged? No, they have collided, okay. Interesting. A little bit of self-damage there by the stationary turret. There we go, 1 more enemy taken down by the Pharaohs. Just keep on focusing on that, please. Oh, once again, an internal explosion. And it's off. No, it's not offline. It is still fighting. My god, you are sturdy. Missiles have been doing a little bit. Okay, now it's offline. The turret is offline, but thankfully the AI hasn't been taken out. Actually, maybe it has. Nope, AI is still online. It's just something very specific has been taken out, and I guess that is the strength of the laser, since it hadn't actually taken all that much damage percentage-wise. Yeah, this is a way closer fight than I really wanted. Considering the Pharaoh tanks were built in part to defeat the Lightning Hoods, we're not doing as well as I expected. Dismantler, can you focus on anyone else except for that guy with the smoke? Those guys with the smoke. Like this guy, for instance, who keeps on shooting at everyone nearby. Nope, you just want to kill those. Okay, that's fine. Oh, look at our poor turret. Well, at least these enemies have finally lost their smoke protection. Took the time. The new version of the Wisp is so much better than the old version. Look how much it's taking in terms of damage. Kill it! Uh-oh. Please, just 1 or 2 shots through the shields would be lovely right now. There we go! Haha! Lovely. Goodbye. Well, not quite yet, but very close to being goodbye. And there it goes. Thank you all for focusing on the turret. Ooh. Still thank you, though. Yep, as you can probably tell, the AI isn't there. Can you tell where the AI is? It's like something's pointing at it. Missile support is actually doing a fair bit of good there. Yeah, looks like we are going to be victorious here. Thank the enemy for focusing on the turret so much, and bang. Yeah, the turret has its ammo stored in 3 separate locations. I think that may have been the 3rd explosion. Actually, where am I currently? Oh. I'm in a tank! What even is this? Oh, they're no longer focusing on the turret. I think it's well and truly dead at this point. First time they've managed to break that, surprisingly. Just not enough damage to break the enemy fast enough, I suppose. Not your best shot there. That was better. You destroyed metal. And down you go. Oh, I love Heschel so much. A slow, but okay... actually, no, it wasn't, honestly. Losing that was very telling. Now, I could grab all of these. Wait, is there an enemy all over there? What's going on there? The enemy missing there? I've never seen a wisp miss. Come on, little guy, I believe in you. I forgot how cheap and weak these things are. Wow, do not hit that with Hesh. Just slowly chipping away at its health. Single block by single block. Have we stopped it from being able to control its movements? It seems like all it can do is hover. Lovely. Can you get another hit, please? Thank you. Thank you again. Maybe one more? Not quite. With how low these things hover, I'm starting to think that maybe the melee vehicle could actually work. Why can you not hit this target? That poor laser doing all the work. Do you know how weak that laser is? It's like a 6,000 resource vehicle with one laser. It's not exactly that potent. There we go, finally 2 damaged. I'm going to assume that tank has had its detection system damaged, because that was really bad aiming. And we've seen they can definitely aim. Just one enemy left over here, and then the battle is over. Yeah, that was too close. If the enemy had one of the larger vehicles, or just we got a bit unlucky there, we would have lost that. I think if the Wisps had focused on the right targets, and things... Oh god, stop hitting the turret, it's already dead! Stop burning the corpse! That shouldn't be a thing I have to tell you! There we go. Huh, managed to repair your, local weapon controller. Cool. Though, by the looks of your barrels, you are still very heavily damaged in the actual weapon, which is quite bad. Okay, so... that was a really boring long battle, I've got to say. Remember that rhino I was hoping wouldn't notice us? Well, it's noticed us. So, one last battle then, before the end of the day. Now, the problem is... I don't think the melee vehicle is very close. No, it's not. Back everything off right now. The thing is, I really don't want to move into this territory. We could accidentally grab another group of enemies if we do that, and that would be very, very, very bad for us. I mean, already we are going to have to fight a rhino, and the rhinos are already terrifying on their own, so don't really need any more of that, thank you. Also, you haven't been healed yet. Yep, we have very limited resources. Well, that's not great, is it? Where's the Doom drone? There it is, okay. Move over here as much as you can. Is everything else okay in terms of positioning? I'll just have a quick double check and then we'll start this last fight. Now, before we start, one thing I do want to say is that that last battle at least showed me 2 things. First of all, we really need to reinforce that area way more than I currently have. And secondly, the local weapon controller, because I did have a quick check before this battle began, is really, really vulnerable on the turret. I don't know how I've done this, but the local weapon controller has no armor around it. So if you hit the side in a very specific place, it instantly gets destroyed, so the turret instantly turns off. But honestly, during that battle, it was the AI which was destroyed and the local weapon controller. Just over the course of, like, the 6 minutes when we were cleaning up, it managed to heal both with its single repair bot. It's a very good single repair bot, apparently. Oh no, I didn't load in the land. Please say everyone's okay. Oh, thank the Dark Ones. Yep, it seems like everything is good. Just make sure everyone's on combat. The enemy is so far away. Though that looks really cool. Look at that. You can see all of the Pharaoh tanks there in that lovely line shooting. That's kind of cool looking, gotta be honest. Hopefully focusing on the Rhino. Oh, beautiful internal damage there, and because of the explosion moving it so much, it's rammed into the vehicle next to it. That is beautiful. Oh, I just realized as well, I haven't had a chance to repair the melee vehicle yet because we have no money. So there's a good chance we're not moving at full speed again. Oh, that was an internal explosion. Yep, that tank is not having a good time. Oh no! Little mosquito, I believe in you. Aw, I love the mosquitoes now. Now I've made them more stable, they're just... Oh! Melee vehicle taking a load of advanced cannon shots. Yep, cram cannons it's not scared of. Advanced cannons, yes. Got stuck on a bit of debris there for a second, which is not what I wanted to see. Where's the Rhino gone? Oh, it's way back here, hello. Just being peppered with Hess shells. Ooh, look at those shells. Whee! Oh, melee vehicle has made contact and is shredding apart that bison. Yep, that bison is not going to last much longer. Lovely. And a ridiculous amount of friendly fire. It's using the bison as a shield. Because of course it is. I'm hoping it goes to the Rhino. Actually, no, I'm hoping it's not. No, turn, turn, turn. Oh, God. You are going to take so much friendly fire if you continue on this path. That was loud. Thank you for listening to me. That would not have ended well for you. Far too many Hess shells, far too many missiles incoming against the Rhino. That would have really hurt. The problem is, of course, now everyone's targeting this one, but at least you're at a better angle. Ow. Lovely. And you go pop. Maybe having the Pharaoh tank so far away might be a benefit. I can see 2 mosquitoes alive, at least. Okay, back to focusing on the Rhino. This thing is still very much fighting back. Incoming missiles there from the Doom drone. Please don't attack at this angle, because that's where all the missiles are coming from. And although they don't do much against heavy armor, they'll definitely do a lot to you. Hello, Rhino! I am a melee vehicle. Well, that was Bouncy. Try again. That's better, look at that. Going through the heavy armor with no problem. I swear it's having more problems in the campaign than it was having in the sandbox mode, which is kind of weird. Saying that, it has just carved its way through already, and most of those blocks being destroyed, like that for instance, was because of the spin blocks. Yeah, it's actually having no problem all chewing through the armor. Ow. Me. Who's left? You. You're left. A bit of a mixed result, honestly, from the melee vehicle. I was expecting, well, more like that. Or that, there we go, never mind, proving itself there. Wow. Just wow. A mini fight going on over here. And I think we are victorious again, lovely. I do need more aggressive vehicles. I definitely need that. Right now, we have things like the Pharaoh tank, which can take a beating, but their damage is quite slow. And our missiles, sadly, which I was hoping would be our more high damage output, just are not as powerful as they used to be. After destroying the enemy, the humble frag missile will now have its rest. Here you can see them drifting away. Though apparently I just got knocked somewhere. What on earth is going on? I just saw a corpse. There's me. Is that Dead Me? Where's Dead Me? I just saw Dead Me. There he is. Hey, Dead Me. Help me. He has become one with the machine. But seriously, did I just get, like, absorbed into the melee vehicle right now? Yeah, I definitely did. I am somewhere where you should not be able to sit. That is not how the camera should work. And with that, I'm afraid I am all out of time for today's video. The melee vehicle did have a few flaws there, a few more than I actually expected after testing it so much in the sandbox mode, and I do think slowing it down before it reaches the target might be needed, even though I really don't want to do that, because the problem is it's hard to make the vehicle figure out the speed of the enemy and slow down to a correct speed. If I just have a blank, when you are within 100 meters of an enemy, reduce speed by X, if we are already at a close speed, so let's say I'm going at 40 already, and the enemy is going at 39, if I then slow down, they will then be going faster than me, and they will simply get away. So it is a bit more complicated than it looks. Also, wow, you took a few cram shots to the face, didn't you? You look almost okay. Oh dear. So yeah, with that, if you have enjoyed the video, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that From the Depths is a series you wish to see continued in the future. Sorry about the rushed nature of this video, but like I said earlier, we do have engineers in the apartment all weekend, and I probably will lose electricity for most of the weekend, if not the entire weekend. So I made sure to get at least this video done. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye. I'll work on this a bit off camera.